there have been, on average, over the last 5 years, 6.4 playoff teams new to the field, on average. Obviously, you can't point for a playoff team. But 6 new playoff teams in the NFL last year, 7 the year before, 7 the year before that, and that's 2020 when they expanded the playoff field to 7 teams. So half the league, year in and year out, is new. And now that we've got the schedule, now that we've got a lot of football on the mind, because you're seeing rookie mini camps and OTAs and things like that, maybe we'll make this a new May tradition to try and identify who those, if let's just say half the league is going to be new.
Oh, yeah.
You got the AFC first, Hoskins? There they are. These are the 9 teams that didn't make it last year. So on average, one would say, 3, maybe 4 would come from here or whatever. Yeah. Steelers, Patriots, Jets, Titans, Browns, Raiders, Broncos, Colts, Texans.
But the thing about the AFC is when you talk about it is who's coming out? Who's not going to make it?
I know that. That's the whole point is usually I require that. I don't want to do that just yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that just yet because those are some pretty damn good teams last year that made it. And I don't know who's coming out.
I don't know, man.
But I think the Jets are getting in. I really believe it.
Sure.
I know you think they're still going to be hot garbage. I know you still think that.
It's okay. And that's okay. But
I mean,
Vegas agrees with you, and the majority of the NFL kind of media agrees with you.
Why wouldn't the Steelers be able to make it too?
That's kind of what I think. They were very close last year. Kenny Pickett showed a lot of moxie in the comeback victories. I think he takes a step forward.
So give me a third.
I think it's going to be one of the Raiders or Broncos, most likely.
You think?
I do. I actually think Denver's going to be better.
But good enough to go, if you wouldn't mind putting up the AFC one more time there, from 5-12, like they're going to be 5 wins better? They're going to be 5 wins better.
Maybe they knock out the Chargers. Maybe the Chargers don't make it. So the AFC West still gets 2 teams.
And we're assuming the Jaguars win the AFC South because that's the easiest way to do it is you take out the Jaguars and put some other team from the AFC South in.
I just don't think any of those teams are good enough. Jacksonville's clearly on the rise. We're talking about Trevor Lawrence as a sneaky good fantasy quarterback next year. I think Jacksonville is firmly planted in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to come from the wild card, unless you think the division winners flip-flop.
I mean, you have to figure the Ravens are making it.
But they made it last year, so they're still in.
I understand that.
Right. Does the division get 3 teams in the AFC as stacked as it is? That's the big question.
Well, it was. I don't know what to tell you, pal. But I think the Jets make it. A team from the West makes it. And, the Dolphins made it last year, so
Dolphins out, Jets in?
Well, the Dolphins were the team that was
The Dolphins at full strength are one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL.
And everybody keeps saying that. And I'm not denigrating what you just said by saying what I just said. But I'm telling you, Vic Fangio being the defensive coordinator there is something nobody's talking about.
Well, they couldn't stop us.
And if they slice enough points per game given up off their average from last year, that alone will put them back in the playoffs. And to his health. That alone will do it. So, man, put the NFC up. You tell me. I think everyone's would jump on the line and say they're in, right? And then you could swap out the Bucs maybe for an NFC South team, right? And then I would say the Rams. The Rams.
Well, who do the Rams replace?
I knew you'd ask that question. Because the Vikings could be replaced in their division by the Lions, right?
I think you're looking at Saints, Falcons win the South. One of them is in. That division might only get 1 team. Detroit's in. I think Minnesota's still good. They could get 2 teams.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm open to phone calls on this subject matter if you'd like. Yeah, man. I don't know who you put in or you take. Who else would you take? Who else could get in? Let's just put it that way.
Do you want to get in or do you want to take out?
I want to get in. Let's just not complicate the getting out.
Okay. I think one of Atlanta or New Orleans, I think they're going to be good enough. They're going to improve enough to have a shot. I think it's one of those teams. Chicago to go from 3 wins to 10, that's asking a lot. I think for them to be in that 7-10, 8-9 range, that would be a good improvement. Not good enough to make the playoffs. Green Bay won 8 games last year.
I know.
So the roster is
but
there.
Brother, I need to see.
And that is 100% valid.
I need to see.
But, Rich, when you look at the NFC, okay, it's not like the AFC where it's, pretty much stacked, 1 through 14. 9-8, 9-7-1, where you're 6 and 7 seeds. Tampa was 8-9 and won their division.
Yeah,
so the bar is much lower in the NFC for the wild card.
How about this? If I had to choose the teams in the West, in the NFC to make it, I'd go Lions, I'd go Falcons, and I'd go Rams.
Okay.
And if I had to go in the AFC,
so Falcons win the division?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go Steelers. I'll go Jets. How about this one? I'll go Browns.
Yeah. That was kind of the initial reasoning for my overreaction today. Nobody's talking about the Browns. Nobody's talking about that team.
Yeah, but I
really
think
good
the Ravens
roster,
are,
and they still have a really good quarterback.
You know how I feel about the Bengals, where apparently I saw somebody sent me a Sports Illustrated article or blog or what have you article about catching me saying that the Bengals are going to dance on the Elfman in week 1 from our What's
funny.
More Likely last Friday.
That's nice.
And of course I got Browns fans pushing back. Burrow's only beaten the Browns once. I'm like, I get it. You're right. I hear you.
There's a video of Joe Burrow today. He's wearing a headband and he looks so jacked.
So what are we going to get? All 4 teams in the North in,
No,
and only one division winner, and that's it?
No, Rich, I'm worried that we are looking at a situation, especially in the AFC, where 6 out of the 7 are returning playoff teams, where maybe only 1 sneaks in, where it's Miami or Baltimore. They're the team that doesn't make it, and only 1 get in, whether that's the Jets or whether that's the Steelers.
You want to chime in on this?
I'm just kind of looking at these. I don't know.
I just
don't know
gave
if
you
I
6.
believe in the Lions as much as you guys believe in the Lions. And maybe I do. It's still early. It's still early. I could talk myself into it.
I could see the Lions being a wild card team and a team like the Giants having a letdown year.
So then you think the Vikings win the division?
I do. I think they're the best team.
Yeah.
So the Vikings stay the NFC North champs, and then the Lions hop in.
The Lions get a wild card.
Okay. Then who wins the South in your mind?
I think it's either Saints Falcons. It depends on the quarterback play. If Derek Carr is the best version of Derek Carr, that Saints team is going to be really good. However, can't guard Mike. Big questions last 2 years. Alvin Kamara, is he going to be on the field?
Dude, you heard that from Dennis Allen last week. He's like, we don't know.
They don't know
about Kamara and what his legal issues are in Vegas.
It's also May, but they don't
I know
know.
that.
But they don't know.
That doesn't get apparently placed in front of a jury until literally the outset of training camp.
By the way, and this was an incident that took place
2 Pro Bowls ago.
a year and a half ago.
The wheels of justice, sir.
I understand.
Are we sleeping on the Bucs?
Are we sleeping on the Bucs? We could be.
Are we sleeping on with Evans? And I don't
It
know.
all comes down to how you feel about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Do you think he's still got it in him? He is now going to be on his 4th team as the
I
number 1
do
overall
think
pick.
he still has it in him. I just like what the Falcons have done.
I really like what they've done. Comes down to Desmond Ridder taking a big leap in year 2.
That's true. So I just named you 6. Steelers,
Also, Rich,
Jets, Browns.
Do you still believe in the Seahawks?
Oh, I do. Oh, yes.
Still, but then you think the Rams get in?
I do.
So 3 teams from the West?
Maybe.
Oh.
Why not? Why not? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.